The cost of living crisis. There's one number that matters above them all. It is inflation, the rate at which prices of services and goods are rising each year, and they certainly are rising. The higher this line is, the higher that inflation rate is. You can see it's gone up in the last few years, and now it's at 10.1%. That's the joint highest it's been since 1982. But what's interesting here is if you break that down into the kind of basket of goods and services that comprise inflation, you get a sense of what's going on beneath the surface. So, for instance, you can see all sorts of things here. Clothing and footwear pushing it up, transport costs as well, obviously petrol prices there. But look at the red segment. That red segment is food and non-alcoholic drinks. That is rising really fast, about 15% at the last gasp, and that is contributing to inflation. Why? Because actually food prices are in part a consequence of higher fertiliser prices, which is in part a consequence of, you've guessed it, energy prices. It's really an energy story. And actually, there is a little bit of good news here I want to share with you when we look at energy prices. It's rare that we get good news recently at the moment, isn't it? But this is gas prices, wholesale gas prices, and you can probably see, look, this is the prices that are paid on the market, but it's quite a similar shape, isn't it, to the last chart we showed you. Look, they were really high in September, but see what's happened since then. They've come down. Actually down, let me highlight that, down to round about the lowest that they've been, 45p a therm, since getting towards kind of late 2020. So that's pretty encouraging. Who knows where it's going to go next, because, you know, we've had some false storms before, but if that stays where it is, then that could be good news for inflation. But here's the thing that the government is focused on right now, filling the black hole in the public finances. Of course, we already got, some people think that black hole could be about £62 billion. So the higher that is, the closer you're getting towards filling the black hole with spending cuts, with getting rid of tax rises. And here's what the government did, Jeremy Hunt did on Monday. So £32 billion worth of measures, which brings in extra money for the government, gets them towards that black hole. But a big decision now looming. Are you going to raise benefits and earnings in line with inflation? That's really high, or earnings a bit less high? With benefits, if you just raise them in line with earnings, then you save about £5 billion. You can see that's getting higher. We're getting closer to filling that black hole. Same thing with pensions. If you get rid of the triple lock, raise them in line with earnings, then you save £6 billion. And look, the gap is only about £18 billion once you've adjusted for rounding. But, of course, Liz Truss has said no. They're going to keep the triple lock. And as a result of that, we get rid of this bar here, and the gap goes to £25 billion, all of which will make Jeremy Hunt's job a little bit harder when it comes to that medium-term fiscal plan.